Phoenician intervention. Again, it is confirmed that the alphabet was invented by someone in the Phoenician Empire about the time of King Solomon's reign. Who was the most inventive person of that era? Solomon. Very important. All right, now I'm going to read on. Page 61. The term Indo-European includes Latin and such modern European languages as English, German, French, etc. All those who speak these languages owe a debt to King Solomon, who invented the alphabetic system on which their languages are based. Let's see. Martland A. Eady, in his book The Sea Traders, states, some authorities give credit to the Phoenicians for developing the ram, which apparently was invented around 1000 BC. A lot was invented around 1000 BC. Now notice it's saying around 1000 BC. So when I say that this was around the time of King David, but the book says King Solomon, is because it's around that same time. All right. King David ruled 1010 BC to 970 BC, and King Solomon from 970 to 930. Right? So it says, those not familiar with military history, the ram refers to a battering ram which extended from the prow of a warship to the purposes of causing damage. For the purpose of causing damage to opposing ships when one's own ship was propelled into an enemy. Let's see. Solomon's unprecedented wisdom resulted in not only a new alphabet, but also new advances in pottery, the Bessemer blast furnace method of smelting ores, the naval ram, and many proverbs concerning wise living. So basically, with the simultaneous with the reign of King Solomon, there were many scientific and philosophic advances, almost insane. It's like with the past 30, 40 years with science and technology of the modern world, how, you know, the so-called white man has advanced in technology so greatly. 40 years ago, we didn't have cell phones like these. I could go back 25 years ago. My first cell phone, it was pretty thick. I can't show anything here that it was thick light, but it was pretty thick. It was, you know, just before I had a cell phone. I had a cell phone in the 90s. Just before I had a cell phone, there were cell phones out around like the late 80s, early 90s that were really for cars that were like a big fucking brick in your ear, man. Like, you're sitting here talking on the phone. There's a big fucking phone, you know. But let's see. So far we've covered how King Solomon was, you know, his reign came with a whole bunch of actual technological advances that you can actually date to around his reign, and you can prove that the Phoenicians were Israelites. All right, so let me see what else. Page 76. Historians acknowledge that the Phoenicians, aka the Israelites, the book actually says i.e. Israelites, planted many colonies throughout the Mediterranean world, which were tied to their mother country on the eastern Mediterranean. If you're curious what Mediterranean means, it means around Italy, Spain, Portugal, you know, the Mediterranean. When Tyre and Sidon allied themselves to the rapidly growing power of Israel during the reigns of David and Solomon, the Israelites, with a much larger population base, turned many of these trading stations into full-fledged colonies and founded colonies of their own as well. We shall see the evidence of many Hebrew and Israelite names in colonies which have been traditionally called Phoenician. All right. Page 77. The lack of great monuments to their triumph makes it easier for historians to miss the accomplishments of Israel, because they naturally assume Israel would have constructed great monuments to boast about major triumphs as did the other ancient empires. In other words, because we're not a bragging ass nation, you know, we just became a bragging bunch of motherfuckers with this rap industry and shit. But originally, we weren't a nation that bragged about shit. You know, taking over this country, taking over that country, having this money, having these chariots. You know, we weren't like that. So because we didn't do like the other nations, historians ignore our accomplishments as a nation. You know, this shit is real, man. Alright, so page 80. The 3-year time period is significant as Ferdinand Magellan's historic voyage, which circumnavigated the globe in 1519 to 1522, also took 3 years. Since Barry Fell's book America BC gives evidence of the ships of Tarshish being involved in ancient explorations of North America, this also argues that the biblical Tarshish was located proximate to the Atlantic Ocean, such as in ancient Spain. That's Spain, Tarshish. Many Phoenician colonies were located in Mediterranean Africa, Sicily, Sardinia, Corsica, Spain, and the coast of Morocco. George Rawlinson adds that in the space of about 300 years, from 1100 BC to 800 BC, Phoenician colonists occupied all the most eligible of the mid-African sites from Leptis Magna to Hippo Regina. Leptis Magna, that's the place where Septimius Severus was born, by the way. Alright, so I'm going to skip up a little bit. You know, this book has so much information, but I just want to get the main part. Matter of fact, I'm going to chop the video